Have you ever had a system drive crash? How about a Windows update that throws your system out of balance and it no longer works correctly? In any case, if you've owned a computer long enough, eventually you will have a dreadful day where the system no longer wants to boot because the drive has gone bad, or more likely the OS has become corrupted for some reason. On such a day, a lot of colorful language is often expressed, since it seems that many of our computer issues rise up at the most inconvenient times. I recently had such an experience, and like most people, I had no backup readily available. While I did not lose any vital content or information, I was greatly inconvenienced by the time it took to do a fresh install of the OS and applicable programs. Recognizing prices on storage devices have come down in price, I chose to pick up a 256GB SSD that mirrored my existing system drive in size. The process of cloning a drive has been around for some time, but is something I had never chosen to do, so I thought I would share my experience this time around. I'll be using a CX2 SSD from Team Group to serve as the new destination drive. One will also need to choose how they want to connect the drive to the system that is being cloned. There are several options. If working with a desktop, you may choose to open the system up and plug the drive in. There's more convenient options, such as using a USB to SATA cable. I will be using a USB hard drive dock that I have readily available. Quickly, I'll show you a benchmark of the drive while I share my experience in choosing a cloning software. Some drive manufacturers do provide a license to some cloning programs. This was not an option for me, so I went to the net and explored what was available. While there are open source options such as Clonezilla, I was looking for something that had a good, clean, and simple user interface. In general, nearly all the programs had a free or trial option, but ultimately, to unlock all the features, I had to make a purchase. I ended up choosing AOMEI's Backupper. Their interface is straightforward, and I felt the purchase price was reasonable. Let's get started. First, let me point out that the program is capable of several backup strategies. You'll see that we have options to create a backup, or use a synced backup strategy along with the restore options. I am not going to spend time discussing those options, since my objective is to create a clone of my system drive. To better understand what I wanted to do, I first had to clarify some terminology. You may have heard the terms disk clone and system clone. What's the difference? Let's review. System clone, also referred to as Windows Operating System Migration, moves only system partitions with Windows installed in all the boot-related partitions. Disk clone, which is the general term for hard drive cloning, makes an exact copy of all the files on the source disk to the target disk. This is what I wanted to do, since this would allow me to pull out the corrupted drive and plug in a cloned drive and immediately be back up and running, saving the botched drive to be resolved at a later time. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and click on Disk Clone. Now we're directed to select the source disk that we want to clone. In this case, I want to do my system drive. Hit Next and we're presented with a very similar screen, but with a question to what our destination disk is. In my case, it's J. We're now presented with a message speaking to a word of caution about how any existing data will be overwritten or deleted. I want to point out a small checkbox on the bottom of the window, Ssd Alignment. We want to make sure this is checked since we are using an SSD as the destination drive. Simply, it will accelerate the read-write speeds. Hit the Start button and that's it. The program will start the cloning process while providing a progress meter. I really do like the simple and straightforward interface of this program. In my case, the process took approximately 15 minutes. There are a lot of options for backing up data, and each one has their pros and cons. In my case, I felt this was a good solution, since my workstation stored the project files on separate drives and not the system drive. If time is the essence, I can swap out the drive and be back up and running in no time. Yes, I need to be mindful of recloning as needed, especially if I install any new programs, but I like that I now have some peace of mind. In general, I like the program from AOMEI, but I do have one constructive criticism, and that is their process of registering the program. It's a simple, straightforward, one license, one computer agreement. That is fine, but what is not in place is the convenience of uninstalling and reinstalling the software, allowing the license to be more easily moved around. It's married to the system's hardware. I understand that there has to be a method to ensuring that software is not abused, but in 2021 there are better ways to do this. So keep in mind, if you replace a motherboard, buy a new laptop, or merely want to use the software on a different computer, you're going to have to establish communication with AOMEI, who would be able to reset the registration on their side. Okay, so that's it for this video. But if you've watched to the end, I want to first say thank you. Not too long ago, the channel broke through 100 subscribers. While small in size, it's a milestone nonetheless. I'd like to send a viewer their own 256GB SSD, along with a USB to SATA connection cable, so you can also do your own backup. All I ask is that you subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment sharing an experience that made you wish you had a backup readily available. After 10 unique comments have been left, I'll pick a winner and reach out to you. So make sure that you have an email in your About section on your channel. As always, thanks for watching.